Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Metroid Prime. Now this is going to be a little bit of a different episode. I did this once before, but I'm going to do it again. This is going to be an episode purely based on getting the expansions as opposed to getting any items or progressing in the storyline. Which means that yes, this is post-commentary like last time. Now instead of getting a few of the expansions just to help me out in terms of combat-wise, I'm actually going to get all of the expansions, all of the artifacts, and all of the Chozo lore scans. I would get all of the pirate data scans, but the rest of them are in the Phazon mine, so I'm going to have to save that. So pretty much what I'm planning on doing here is I'm going to get every expansion in Phendrana Drifts, Magmoor Caverns, Chozo Ruins, and Tallon Overworld. So I'm going to be getting everything, including the artifacts, like I just got right here, Artifact of Chozo, and of course it's the biggest one, freaking... What's the word that you call when someone is self-centered? Narcissistic? Yeah, I guess so. But anyway, so the reason I wanted to do this is because, like I said, my uploading schedule hasn't really been the best because I had school, which speaking of school, I actually just finished it. I do have some post-school activities that I'm going to have to be doing, but they won't be taking any sort of large amount of time out of my hands. So to make up for that, I decided to get all of the expansions in this one episode. So since it's post-commentary, I've already recorded the video, put everything together, and edited everything out, so this way the video doesn't get too long, because the actual recording time for this was like a minute, not a minute, fastest video ever. No, but this recording session took me like an hour and 20 minutes, no lie. So to shrink it down until like, I think this minute's like 20 video. Oh! Anyway, I think this video is like 20 minutes. So it took a lot of work to edit all that into like one little segment. So over here we get to see the effectiveness of the X-ray visor. I already explained that with using the X-ray visor, you'll be able to track the Chozo ghosts without them vanishing everywhere. And look at my fail trying to go on this platform. I suck! But yeah, when you have the X-ray visor, the Chozo ghosts will not be able to sort of just evaporate into thin air anymore, which is tons more useful. And like I said, every time they hit you and Samus puts her left hand up like this, I get so annoying. Like, just let me shoot this idiot so I don't have to get shot at anymore. But what can I say? Well, in the last episode, we got the plasma beam, we got the X-ray visor, and we got the grapple beam. So there is only one more actual power-up we're left to get before we get everything, which is why I wanted to get all of the expansions now and get them out of the way. And another reason I wanted to do the expansions now is because we're not going to have any reason to go back to any of the previous areas we've been to. We're not going to have any reason to go back to Chozo Ruins. We're not going to have to go back for anything in Tallon Overworld, Magmoor Caverns, Phendrana Drifts, etc., etc. So since we're not going to go back there for anything story-wise to fight a boss or to get a power-up, I figured I might as well get those expansions now. So if you want to skip ahead, like skip this video and just wait for the next one, then you're more than welcome to. But then you're going to miss out on my epic commentary. And I said the exact same thing in my James Bond Let's Play. And, by the way, I hope you guys are going to like that. That wasn't really, like, I know I already said that there, but it wasn't really a planned Let's Play. It was mostly something that I just did on the fly because I was obsessed with playing that game. But over here, this is the Hall of the Elders. We've already gotten the Wave Beam and Ice Beam unlocks for this room. So now that we have the Plasma Beam, we can use that to unlock this Ice Beam door. I kind of find it funny how you're using the Plasma Beam to unlock an Ice Beam door. I kind of felt like it's redundant to have Plasma Beam and then have an Ice Beam door to lead to this artifact. But yeah, in this video I'm going to be getting all artifacts except for 2 of them, because the last 2 that we're going to be getting are in the Phazon mines. One I'm going to be getting right in the beginning of the next episode, because I already have all this planned out. Because I don't want to get this, like, how do I say this? I'm not saying that I want this to get Metroid Prime out of the way, but Metroid Prime for me was a very experimental Let's Play, or I'm still doing it, so it is an experimental Let's Play. But being my first Let's Play, it was a way for me to sort of play around with the settings, see how I can get my video quality, my voice quality, play around with settings, my commentary, how I'm going to organize things, schedules, all that stuff. It really was a way for me to settle down the grounds for how I'm going to be recording and playing games. So my next Let's Play is obviously going to be much better than this, but I think I should have used another game to sort of experiment with, because I like Metroid Prime, and I feel like I could do it a lot more better justice if I were more experienced. But I don't regret doing this at all. But anyway, go over here, and that's the missile expansion. It's probably the most stupidest missile expansion to get, and I'm actually really glad I got that in one try, because that I usually fall off there. But over here, I'm going to show this on the map in a minute, but this is in the Chozo ruins now, because we're getting all of the Chozo ruins. What I'm doing is I'm showing it all in like series, so I'm getting all of the artifacts and expansions in Chozo ruins first. Like, it's not just going to be like Chozo ruins and Phendrana Drifts and back to Chozo ruins, because that would be rude. But as you can see, this blue area that we've yet to explore in the Chozo ruins that we hadn't been to in like frickin' forever, now we're here, because the reason I never came here is because, one, you needed the Varia suit to not get hurt by the heat, and two, you needed the grapple beam to actually progress. Now you use the power bomb to open this wall, and we get our very, very last Chozo lore. Finally, our last Chozo lore. And I don't know if I give myself enough time to read this, but you can pause the video and read it if you want to. And we're also going to get our first instance after this scan of our very first power bomb expansion. Thank you, Lord. But what else can I talk about? What have I been doing recently? Like I said, school's been over at, so yeah, what are you guys planning to do over the summer? I'm just planning to keep recording Let's Plays, but I'm also going to be hanging out with friends during the summer, which is kind of funny because I usually don't hang out with friends over the summer. Typically the way I've spent my summers is just typically at home playing video games. But I recently made a lot of friends now, because I was usually a loner, but I'm not a loner anymore. Not that that will get in the way of my Let's Playing or anything like that. I still prefer my Let's Playing over my friends. Ha 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 ha. No, but over here, there's a secret passage! Woohoo! Which leads to a missile expansion, so make sure you don't miss that. It's in the hallway right there, behind those leaves. Very, very tricky. Now over here, unfortunately, you're gonna have to fight these Chozo ghosts. Yes, I know, it sucks, but it's what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do! But luckily, I do make some really quick work of these. I think I killed these guys in, like, record time. It's just switch, super missile. Oh. But yeah, I'm being stupid. So what have I done recently? Well, I think I should have talked about this earlier, but I think like a week or two ago, I actually bought Metroid Prime 2. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait, Metroid Prime's your favorite game, but you've never played Metroid Prime 2? Well, no, I haven't. I like Metroid Prime a lot, and I have watched a little bit, like little snippets here and there of Let's Plays of Metroid Prime 2 and 3. But Metroid Prime 2 and 3 aren't as interesting as Metroid Prime 1. So they never really have caught my interest. And look at that ninja boost ball skills. But I actually haven't even played Metroid Prime 2 yet, despite the fact that I bought it so long ago. The reason is I wanted to finish this Let's Play first, and then go straight into playing Metroid Prime 2. And I just narrowly missed that pillar there. But I wanted to do that this way. It's like more fresh way. Like I just finished Metroid Prime 1, then I go into number 2, and number 2. I gotta stop joking around. And there's an energy tank right there, just in case you're not paying attention and you're on Tumblr in another tab and you're not looking at the video, because I do that all the time. I usually watch videos, but sometimes I'm on Tumblr or some other thing, not even necessarily Tumblr, but just doing something else on another tab. And sometimes I just listen to videos instead of watch them. I don't do that a lot. I only do that like once a day, and I watch like a shitload of videos, so you don't have to just be like, oh, you can't enjoy a video without actually looking at it. And these pillars are a little bit weird. They sort of just rise and fall like, pew! But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Metroid Prime 2. Anyway, so, what, like, a lot of you might be asking, am I going to Let's Play Metroid Prime 2? I will, because, like I said, I feel like if you're going to Let's Play one part of a series, then you should do the rest. So if I were to do a Let's Play of, like, Mario Party 1, then you can damn well expect I'm going to do Mario Party 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Maybe not necessarily all, like, back to back. I'll probably have other Let's Plays in between, but that's probably something I would do. So after Metroid Prime 1, I actually do know what Let's Play is going to be next. I have chosen which one it is, and I'm not going to spoil it until the very last episode of this Let's Play. And even then I won't explicitly tell you, I'll just sort of give you a little hint. So that should be something that you can look forward to. And I really wish I had something to talk about, but really, what is there to talk about? You open this door. Oh, actually, no, this is kind of interesting to talk about. Now, right here, this is the room beside the very first Magmoor Caverns teleport that you ever see. And when you get the spider ball, this is actually the place where you are sort of, what's the word? Like expected, or What? I can't. I don't even. What's the word where like the developers mean for you to do it in a certain way? Intended. There you go. But as you see, that Chozo ghost runs away. But pretty much the idea is that this was actually supposed to be the first time you ever encounter a Chozo ghost in the chronological order. In this way, you're supposed to see the Chozo ghost, and he runs off, and you're supposed to think, "Oh, what's that?" And you chase after him, and then you see this whole flower thing with these guys coming out. So these are actually supposed to be the first time you ever see the Chozo ghost, but of course, that's not the case for us. So yeah, this battle is pretty long-winded, but I do have to show this because this way you get an artifact. If you got like a missile expansion out of this would be pretty big of a ripoff. Now, one thing I should sort of mention, if you actually do see these Chozo ghosts first, like if you see them for the first time here, they will actually be a lot weaker than they are now. The reason being is that ever since your first, it doesn't even have to be your first encounter. The more and more power-ups you get, the more resilient the Chozo ghosts become. So if you come here and see them first, and they'll be a lot more weaker because they won't have as many power-ups. So they'll probably just take one super missile and die. So that's a lot more useful if you really don't want to put up with annoying, tedious Chozo ghost fights. I'm just yawning. Yeah, after all this long-winded fighting, you get an artifact. And I am going to leave this fighting in because it's pretty epic and we haven't really had any action for a long time. Ah, there we go. There's the burp. But why am I so unprofessional with this? I think I burp like every episode of Metroid Prime. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I'm talking a lot, so maybe the gas in my system is sort of like rising and coming out of my body. But if you come over here, you got the Chozo artifact acquired. That made no sense grammatically. And this is the artifact of something. I couldn't read it because it's too small. But yeah, that damn Flagra was hiding not only our Varia suit, but our Chozo artifact. Anyway, so now we are completely finished with all of the Chozo artifacts, power bombs, and missile expansions. Now we move on to the Magmoor Caverns, and the Magmoor Caverns are not going to be here for a long time, and same thing with the Tallon Overworld. I think there's like 2 missiles or something. I think there's only like 1 missile in the Magmoor Caverns. Yeah, so we're not going to be in the Magmoor Caverns for too long, but as you can see, with the X-ray visor, we get to see that there are invisible platforms that we can go on. You can actually, like I said, these invisible platforms will be here regardless of whether you have the X-ray visor or not. So if you memorize exactly where they are, you can actually get this missile expansion without the X-ray visor. But I still wanted to show this as part of everything else, and also I don't really remember where the platforms are by heart. I don't really care much for that. Anyway, but over here, you use a boost ball to lift this bridge over there. You go across, and this will lead us to another Chozo artifact. So there are 2 Chozo artifacts in the Magmoor Caverns. I already got the first one, artifact of... I forget what it is, but I know this one is the artifact of strength. So right here, and I could have come and got this way earlier, like as soon as I got the boost ball. And you might be wondering, why didn't you? Well, the reason is, in this room, you can also get a power bomb expansion. But the only way you can get that is if you have a power bomb, because the floor is made of Indesium, as you will see. So I didn't want to come here and get the artifact and then leave and then later come back again for the power bomb expansion. For me, it would just be tedious, so I decided to just leave it all for this one big collaboration video of all the expansions and artifacts. And I believe that's it. Or is it not? No. Oh, this is interesting here. Right here, these walls, as you can see, they're sort of gray. They are made of Indesium, so you can you can blast them with the power bombs. And right here we get our 3rd beam combo. So we've already gotten our power beam combo, which is the super missile in this game. We've gotten our wave beam combo, which is the wave buster. And now we get our ice beam combo, and I'm really glad I got these in order. The ice spreader. Now the ice spreader is very, very useful because the ice beam, as I've said before, I really don't like its shitty rate of fire, the fact that it moves so slow, its inability to home on enemies, and as you can see, it causes like a whole freaking blanket of ice. But the reason I like the ice spreader so much is it costs like 10 or 15 missiles, I forget, which is, that's actually quite a little bit, to be honest, because the wave buster takes 10 missiles just to start up and then like 2 missiles every second to keep using. So the ice spreader is actually a lot more efficient in terms of its ammunition costs. The most fuel efficient, I guess you can say, beam combo would be the super missile. But of the other three, I would have to say it's the ice spreader. So as you can see here, you use the X-ray visor to walk up and you see these invisible platforms. If you, like I said before, if you know exactly where these invisible platforms are, you don't need them. As you can see with the X-ray visor, there's a hole in this wall behind the vines. You go there and you get another missile expansion. Oh, and I guess I should mention that all the Magmoor Cavern expansions are all finished, as will the Tallon Overworld expansions be finished as well, because we have a missile expansion. So we're just going to walk back, and that is the end of the Tallon Overworld expansions. Now we have the Phendrana Drifts expansions, power bombs, artifacts, all that stuff. So right here in the main hub area, we could just melt this ice and we get that missile expansion. Now over here is the Ice Ruins East Cavern. There's another block of ice. This one doesn't melt slowly, it just outright shatters. I don't know why they made that difference, but maybe I'm the only one who's ever noticed these things. So you get that missile expansion, and now we're back in the main hub. Now right before that place where you enter to go towards the path of the main Shigeth where you get the wave beam, shoot that with a super missile, its coordinate, and then scan the thing underneath. This way, you can go in this little place here, use your spider ball, and you get a missile expansion. And again, I'm really sorry that I saved all of these for later, but I really don't want to have to deal with these now, and I sort of wanted to get these all out of the way in a much more quicker and faster fashion, so I can make up for the lost time. But anyway, this is the room right before the Shigeth room, and when you shoot that ice thing that was sort of blocking this statue's hands, you go in the morph ball, you weigh him down, and then this thing will open, which will actually give you an artifact, and I believe it's the artifact of sun. I don't know why this is the artifact of sun, because it's not in exactly a sunny place, because there's an artifact in, it's the artifact of sun, right? Yeah, there's an artifact in a room in the Chozo ruins, and the room is called the Sun Chamber. Wouldn't it have made more sense to have the artifact of sun in the Sun Chamber, as opposed to in a place covered with ice? That's indoors, by the way. But whatever. If you shoot that block of ice, you don't get a missile expansion, you get a power bomb expansion. And this is the way that you can sequence break power bombs. If you sequence break the plasma beam before you get the power bombs, and then you get that expansion, then that'll be a good way to get the power bombs before you get it in the phase online. Now here, this is where we fought Thardis. This is where we fought Thardis. You use the grapple beam in those areas, you come over here, and you get a missile expansion. Now over here, this is not a missile or power bomb expansion, this is an energy tank, and I'm trying to talk really fast because I'm trying to get all of these things over with, and this is all live, like my commentary isn't being cut, it's just the video footage. But over here we get another energy tank. So now we've got 13 energy tanks. We only need one more energy tank before we are completely full on everything. But that last energy tank that we need is in the phase online, so this is the last of the energy tanks that we'll be picking up. And Plasma Beam is just going to incinerate that fool because he doesn't know what he's doing. Now this will actually lead us to an artifact. And I could have gotten this as soon as we arrived in this area, but for some reason I was under the impression that you needed the Plasma Beam. I don't know why. As you can see, I blasted that big block with just the missile, so I actually could have just done this as soon as I got to this area, which is a very long time ago. But, you know, mistakes will be mistakes. Since I'm in the Phendrana Drifts anyway, come over here. There's actually a glitch where you can sort of shoot the missiles from another area, and then you'll sort of be like glitched inside the tower. It's a really weird thing. I didn't show it off because I didn't want to have to deal with any glitchy things happening, especially during this humongous recording time where I was going to have to cut stuff over and over and over again. So now we're just going to get one more artifact before, like, the last of them. Now this is the gravity chamber. Over here we're going to be getting a missile expansion. Now remember this room? This is the room that I said if you sequence break the plasma beam and break the ice, but leave the room, you will not be able to use this grapple point again, which is why it is good to have the grapple beam and the plasma beam when you break that ice. Because if you get the plasma beam, like you sequence break it, you break the ice, leave the room, and then come back with the grapple beam later, the grapple beam will not react to the hook, so you will not be able to get that missile expansion. You might be able to rodeo scan jump up to it, but I've tried that before and I was unsuccessful, so it's definitely something I wouldn't recommend, and I do know my glitch jumps very, very well. So if I can't do it, I'm pretty sure most people won't be able to as well. I don't even think it's possible. But yeah, you do this, and this is in Frost Cave, I believe. Yep, I know these names too well. This is, like, you have to have 0 life if you know the names of all these individual rooms, Daniel. Like, really. But anyway, over here under the water is a missile expansion. You use that stalactite to sort of break the ice. And over here, you don't see any scan for Bendesium. But if you use a thermal visor, you'll actually see that there is a door behind there. And it's a plasma beam door. So you can see that it's very high technical. And by that I mean like they're hiding something interesting. It's a plasma beam door in the Phendrana Drifts area. But this is the last Chozo artifact we'll be getting in this video. And wow, the video is almost over. I'm actually very surprised I was talking this whole time. So yeah, I think this Let's Play should be over in about 3 episodes, maybe 4. Because there are like 3 more bosses, and I plan to do 1 boss per episode. Maybe. No, but then there's this huge transgression area and phase on mine, so I'll have to see how it happens. But most likely in about 4 or 5 episodes, this Let's Play is going to be finished, and I'll be able to move on to the next one. I'm not, like, awaiting the day that this Let's Play ends, but I am saying that it's almost over. So hopefully people who have stuck with me in the beginning will keep enjoying my stuff. But that's it. So, until next time, I'll see you guys later on next episode. Yeah.